for that. So I just want to, as we kind of come to a close here today, I just want to remind you of a couple of things. And I talked about that we're powerful, and one of the things that, unless you understand a couple of these concepts, and this is one of the most important concepts that you can understand, that your body can heal itself. Okay, I'm going to repeat that to you. Your body can heal itself. And this is something that we've forgotten, right? Because we put it all in the doctor's hands for us, our bodies, that his job is to heal our body, right? If somebody has cancer, we don't do anything. We're at the mercy of what the system has to say. But when you start looking at the Noetic Society, they actually put together this huge compendium of research. And what they found is that they took 3,500 articles. These are just recent articles in 80 journals in 20 different countries. These are all, what they found was that the body, these are things that they have no idea, but the cancer just disappeared. These people's problems just disappeared. The heart disease just disappeared. And in fact, what they find is that your body, no matter where you are, what country you live in, it has the ability to heal itself. That was the gift that you were given on the day that you were born. And we've just forgotten about that gift. The question is that, A, are you going to allow that to happen, or are you going to interfere with it? And how does your body know that works? For me, what you have to understand is the obvious, right? And I'll say this 1,000 times. No matter who's, it's a lot of times somebody will say, well, Gray's Anatomy says, okay, Gray's Anatomy says, well, every organ and system is controlling your body is under the direct control of your nervous system. Dorland says, an intact nervous system leads to optimum functioning of the human body. The World Book Encyclopedia, I mean, just keep Googling it. How many times does somebody have to tell you that your nervous system is in charge of your body's functioning? It's in charge of healing, repair, and regeneration. Your nervous system is in charge of your immune system. Your nervous system is in charge of regulating the balance of every single thing in your body there. And it's a fact. It's not an idea. That it's a fact that when you have pressure on your nervous system, it's going to interfere with how your body functions, heals, repairs, and regenerates. Like when somebody loses that arc of life in their neck, it's not a good thing. It's going to stretch and tether. It'll reduce the ability of the size of your spinal cord by about 50%. When we have that head forward there's about 40 pounds of pressure on the spinal cord on average. Like if I was to take a 40-pound weight, put it on your spinal cord, good thing or bad thing? Do you think your body would ever be able to function at 100% if we're in this position with a 40-pound weight on our spinal cord? No way, right? So subluxation is an interference to how your body is able to function. This is not an idea. This is not a theory. It's a fact. When we look, how does this relate to cancer? And I talked about, this just came out the other day, but there is a direct communication between the nervous system and tumor cells, all right? There's a direct link between the nervous system and tumor cells. And what they found, check this out, that the nervous system is controlling cell death. So even in spite of our horrible lifestyle choices, right, our stressed out lives and the foods that we eat and that we don't exercise, the nervous system is still in control. It's still trying to control try to control and maintain those cells. What they found was that when they cut the nerves away from the tumors, that the tumors actually spread. And now it just went crazy. The tumors actually spread. So if I cut the nerve to your heart, what happens to your heart? Stop. If I cut the nerve that goes to a tumor, what happens? It grows, right? It loses control. Your body stops being able to function properly. And that's what we're talking about today. How about a little pressure on the nerve that's going to a tumor that you don't know that you have? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Wouldn't you want to know about it, right? Yeah, and so that's why every single day when I look at somebody, it's not about a bad back or a bad neck. Look, if we got a problem right here, it's going to affect everything down below, period. It's not a thought, it's a fact. It's scientific, in fact, anatomy and physiology there. They said, therefore, the nervous system plays an important role in cancer metastasis. So that's why they're all 5 essentials. They're not the 5 good ideas, right? Like, you got to have oxygen. You got to have, like, a proper mindset. You got to have good nutrition. You got to have a properly functioning nervous system. You got to get rid of the toxins in your diet. So that's why when we look at it, our goal is not to treat cancer, but it's to be able to heal our body from what we've put it through our entire life. And the quality of the healing that we have in our body is directly proportional to the ability of our nervous system to be able to function. That's a fact. So here's the thing. There's no longer a debate. Basically, this is 10 years ago. They basically looked at all the studies. They looked at all the research. There's no debate that when we adjust somebody, it actually makes a change in the nervous system. There's no debate whatsoever. And in fact, what they found is that when somebody is subluxated, it actually puts their bodies, it irritates the nervous system, puts their bodies into a high stress state. It activates the sympathetic nervous system, which actually then suppresses your immune system, which then puts your body and raises those cortisol levels, and all of a sudden your body becomes in a reactive place. So just by the mere fact that somebody's subluxated and everything else is right, their immune system is going to be shut down there. So that's why this is on the don't get it plan, right? It's not that it's a good idea. It's one of the essentials. You have to have a properly functioning nervous system. And that's why you look at Dr. Majors, and I'm going to show you his picture in a second. You know, that was the one thing that he was really missing there. Even as a chiropractor, he wasn't doing his home care. He was saying do this, but he really wasn't doing it. And so you can go a month without food. I can get you on the advanced plan. We can change your life there. We can start giving you the best water in the entire world, but you can go days without water. You can go minutes without air. Like I can get you nice ozone, pure oxygen air. You can go minutes without air. But for 1 second, if your nervous system's not working right, your body's not working right. That's it. No questions asked. So here's what happens. When we have a properly functioning nervous system, when people are getting adjusted, what they find is their interleukins. Well, actually, it'll actually release interleukins. One of the cool things about that, you have to pay thousands of dollars to have interleukin injections. Thousands of dollars. Guess what? Free. I'll show you how to get it free. I'll get you a discount, okay? So, but the thing is that what the interleukins do is they attack cancer-causing agents. They attack the viruses that change the DNA that cause your cells to mutate there. They activate every single part of your nervous system. So when you get adjusted, there's something called a respiratory burst that all of a sudden, boom, you get this huge burst of interleukin every single time you get adjusted. So next time you're laying on the table and we adjust you, all of a sudden realize that you are a cancer killer for the rest of the day. That's what you have to understand. It's not about a pop or a crack, right? It's not about how your neck feels. When you get adjusted, boom, all of a sudden, your whole immune system's absolutely changed there. When they look at the research there, chiropractic, it temporarily affects the interleukins. It doesn't mean that you're good for the rest of your life, because guess what you're going to walk out of here and do? You're going to subluxate yourself. Emotional, physical, chemical stresses, they don't go away. But if you're doing the things that you need to be able to do to protect your nervous system, what will happen is that your body is going to be able to hold that. The longer we can hold that adjustment, the more your body is going to be able to produce those interleukins. So basically, this is what it comes down to. Your nervous system, it's not your genes. A signal from the environment, from the world, has to come into your body. How does your body perceive it? Through your nervous system. The brain is the interface between your body and the rest of the world. So information has to come in, go up to your brain has to respond to it. And what it does is it changes those fluids. Remember we talked about the Lipton study? So if you take three of the same kind of cells, same DNA, put them into 3 different fluids, you're going to get 3 different kinds of cells. Your body will make the right cell at the right time for the right purpose in the right place every single time. And what they find is that they'll take these cells that are supposed to go into your leg and make muscles. They'll actually take them, inject them. Those same stem cells will actually go up to your brain and make brain cells, and not just brain cells, but the cells that you actually need in the right place in your brain. So when your nervous system is designed to create the environment, to create the right type of cells every single time there, it's electrical signals, and that's what you have to understand. Who you are is based on your nervous system. How your body responds to the world is based on your nervous system. And we got to stop thinking about what we call life expectancy, right? Most of us are thinking, I expect to live to 70. I expect to live to 80. I expect to live to 90, right? Maybe we're going to take cholesterol medication because it'll give us another 2 years of life. That's what the statistics show, right? We got to stop thinking life expectancy and start thinking what our lifespan is. We got to stop thinking about what our future is, what we were programmed. You go back to Genesis, it's 120 years old. You go to Harvard, it says we're not even supposed to die. Our cells aren't even supposed to start dying until we're 120 years old. Either way, we're underliving our potential. Discover Magazine, not Discover Chiropractic Magazine, but Discover Magazine, that's going to come out next week. But basically says the first 150-year-old has already been born. And I bet you Sierra is going to be that one. Like the kids that are in our practice, the kids that you see around here, they're going to be the next 150-year-olds because they're living the lifestyle. They're living those 5 essentials. And that's what we want. So our lifespan it's based on the signal that we're getting from our environment through the nervous system. And what that means is this. We talked about glutathione earlier, right? A super antioxidant. There's actually 2 of them in your body. One you can't take, and that's serum thiol. And what they looked at is they looked at people's serum thiol levels, and this is really powerful. They found that when they looked at their serum thiol levels, and when they were below 80, they actually had a 95% chance of having one of these diseases, these chronic diseases, the top 9 diseases in the United States, whether it's heart disease, whether it's cancer, whether it's diabetes. 95% chance. That means you only have a 5% chance of not getting it. When they actually was talking to one of the guys that actually was participating in the study, and what he told me was a story that went like this. He said there was 2 chiropractors that went over there because they were going to do a study to see the effect of serum thiol levels on the adjustment on serum thiol levels. And so what they did is they went to go take a test of them. And so Dr. Perot, who is in charge of it, he was the one that found that when you adjust somebody, your immune system goes up about 200%. Well, and he also found that when people that are under care, their immune system is about 400 times that of a cancer patient. How cool is that? So he wanted to find out why that was the case. And so these 2 chiropractors were there. And what they did is they gave him a blood test. And as they gave him the blood test, they went back and they started talking. And the lab assistant comes running in and he shows them this level. Well, they had done tests all the University of London. They had gone and looked at fishing villages. And the fishing villages, the guys were like 50 and 60. They looked at nursing homes. Their levels were at 12. And what they found was these 2 chiropractors were the first ones that they had tested that were chiropractors. One had been under care since birth. Their level was about 146. And the other one had been under care for about 10 years. They were about 128. And so what they said, we got to study this. And what they did is they did a study, and what they found is that the longer that somebody was under care, when they first start care, their thiol levels are about the same. But what they found is the longer somebody was under care, at about 315 weeks or so, what they found was this. 312 weeks, they found that everybody's serum thiol levels were higher than 120, usually around 120 to 135. What that did is not that they felt better, but it changed their disease risk from having a 95% chance of having one of those top 9 chronic diseases. It flipped it to only giving them a 5% chance. So when I talk about you have a power in you, that's amazing. That's inside of you. You are a cancer-killing, disease-fighting machine that's been lied to say that you're weak. And what I want to remind you is that power, it flows from above down, inside out, each and every single day. And so when we look at these people, these are just some of the people in the last year that haven't made it. These are people that haven't made it. These are, you look at the arc of life. You're supposed to have a nice smooth curve that goes like this. You look at it straight with degeneration coming through there. You have a completely straight neck. Look at this, the nursing home posture of that person's head coming forward. Arthritis all through in there. What would it have meant to them if they had known about it, right? What would it have meant to them if they had actually started something earlier? What would it have meant to them if they could have found time to actually do their home exercises, right? Oh, I don't have a place to hook my traction unit up. I haven't been able to do it. It's been sitting. I don't even know where it is. My rolls are a little uncomfortable. What if every single time you're laying on your rolls, you're realizing that the power that made the body can actually have a chance to be able to heal your body, and that's at the time when your body's healing the most? What if you actually had a mattress? That's why I had Mancini's, because the number one thing that I get almost every single week is, tell me about the type of bed. I'm like, how old is your bed? They're like, oh, we've had it since we've been married. And I'm like, you've had all your kids on it. Well, not on it, but you've had it, all your kids. And they said it was a 20-year-old mattress. I'm like, no, that's 20 years old before it completely falls apart, right? Like your mattresses, you need to replace. Like your car breaks down. Nobody has a car for 20 years, but you use your mattress way more. That's why to be able to hold your adjustment, to be able to do your home exercises, to be able to do those things. There's nothing better that you can do is to invest in yourself. So when I look at Dr. Majors, then I asked him for his pictures. When we look at an x-ray, normally we're going to have an atlas coming down. His atlas occiput angle is at 26 and 24. He was at 18. You can see that he doesn't have a nice curve there. He couldn't find the time. We have the ideas. He didn't do everything that he possibly could. Well, he changed everything. Here he is. Look at his curve right there. The thing that was interesting is the tumor was coming right here, putting all that pressure right up here. It was shutting down right at the base of his skull there. So what's the power of him having a nice curve there? And that's why I wanted every single one of you guys to come here. That's why I wanted every single one. That's why I love adjusting people. People ask me like why I get fired up when I adjust people. It's not because I like the sound, even though I do like the sound. It's because I know that every single time we adjust somebody, lives are changed. Every single time we put our hands on somebody, that person is a little bit better off than they were the moment that they walked in. Every single time we adjust somebody, the way that they perceive the world, the way that their body responds to the world, the way that the chemistry in their body is regulating is a little bit better. The way that the power that made the body that's right up here in that brain is able to flow above, down, inside out, uninterfered with. And this is what we want. So my goal is I don't want another 7 people next year. I am committed to not having another 7 people. Do you know how many times I cried myself to sleep at night when I heard about these people? Like there's nothing more powerless for me than to be able to want something so bad for somebody. And so I'm going to be on you. I mean, that's my goal. Is like I am going to be on you. I'm like if you're having a challenge with sugar, I'm like, okay, let's do this, right? Let's just move over. That's why we're doing the Nutrition 101 class there. So if you have a warning sign, like most of you guys are here are patients, I'm preaching to the choir, right? Like, but how many people have friends and family that are at home, right? People that need to know. I mean, like, how many people know somebody that should have been here today? Like every single person, right? Like if your shoulder's hurting, I understand. You don't have to put your hand. Everybody needs to know this truth, right? Because we need to shift this. We need to shift the consciousness. Our mission is to change the way that people perceive and receive their healthcare so we can save thousands of lives in the process. Thousands of lives. Millions of lives. We can give millions more people, millions more years of life. Healthy life, not just sucking air and pumping blood. It's about changing life. The people that we love most, we want to live to our potential. So by the time somebody feels cancer, it's what? Because the damage is already there, right? By the time we start feeling some of these symptoms, that means the damage has already been there for a long enough period of time. And so what we're looking at right now is it's not about symptoms. I don't care if somebody has symptoms. I just need to get them back. It's not like we're working on somebody's neck pain or fatigue. My job is to be able to give you the 5 essentials. There's no way that if you apply the 5 essentials in your life at 100% of the time, your body's not going to be able to heal. It's physically impossible. The only way it doesn't work is if you don't work it.